India's new prime minister made headlines this week by inviting the leader of its contentious neighbor, Pakistan, to attend his inauguration yesterday. The pair followed up with a meeting today, prompting some to wonder if amending of fences between the countries is possible in the near future. Jeffrey Brown reports.
It was a highly anticipated face-to-face between nuclear-armed rivals. On his first full day on the job, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with his Pakistani counterpart, Nawaz Sharif, for almost an hour. Sharif, who took office just last year, described the conversation as cordial.
I pointed out that we were at the beginning of our respective tenures with a clear mandate. This provides us the opportunity of meeting the hopes and aspirations of our peoples, that we will succeed in turning a new page in our relations.
The PMs agreed.
India's foreign secretary said Modi pressed the issue of terrorism.
It was conveyed that Pakistan must abide by its commitment to prevent its territory and territory under its control from being used for terrorism against India. We also expect that necessary steps will be taken in the Mumbai terror attack trial underway in Pakistan.
The Mumbai attack in 2008 left 163 people dead at the hands of Pakistani militants. India has complained that Pakistan has slow-walked the investigation and that the perpetrators must be put on trial. Well before Mumbai, the two rivals had a contentious, violent history. They've fought 4 wars since 1947, and they've consistently battled over the northern region of Kashmir. Indeed, Modi's invitation to Sharif to attend his inauguration was also something of a surprise, since Modi's Hindu Nationalist Party has long advocated a tough stance on Pakistan. Many in Pakistan remain wary of Modi, who was accused of failing to protect Muslims during religious riots in Gujarat state in 2002, when he was chief minister there. For now, though, the door to rapprochement is open. The two nations plan to continue talks at the foreign minister level. And to assess these moves, we get two views. Husain Haqqani was Pakistan's ambassador to the United States from 2008 to 2011. He's now a senior fellow at the Hudson Institute and a professor at Boston University. And Sumit Ganguly, a professor of political science at Indiana University. He's author of the book Conflict Unending: India-Pakistan Tensions Since 1947. Well, welcome to both of you. Sumit Ganguly, let me start with you. How do you read this first meeting, just the fact that it took place? How important is that?
I think this is quite significant. This is the first time that a Pakistani prime minister has been invited to the inauguration of the Indian prime minister. And furthermore, Mr. Modi, who has not hitherto been known for his warm feelings towards Pakistan, really broke new ground. And so this constitutes a very important and useful portent for the future.
Husain Haqqani, how do you look at this meeting?
I think it was positive that Mr. Modi invited Prime Minister Sharif, and it's also positive that Mr. Sharif overcame objections within Pakistan to actually travel to Delhi.
Because there were some.
There were many objections. There were people who said it's humiliating for a Pakistani Prime Minister to attend the inauguration of an Indian Prime Minister. But the fact remains that the underlying tensions are not going to go away just because of one meeting. And in any case, India and Pakistan have made new beginnings many times and have failed.
Remind us, let me start with you, remind us of those tensions for everyone who hasn't followed it that closely, even over the last few years. Where are the key barriers right now?
Well, the official view in Pakistan is that the key barrier is the resolution of the issue over Jammu and Kashmir, which is a territory that is disputed between India and Pakistan. But the fact remains that Pakistan broke away from India in 1947, and since then, every Pakistani child is taught in school that India is an existential threat to Pakistan and India is Pakistan's eternal enemy. Until and unless that attitude is changed, and the fact that Pakistan has the world's 6th largest military, but still cannot put all its school-going age children into school, which creates many internal problems in Pakistan, allowing the Pakistani leadership to use India as the bogeyman. Until those issues are resolved, India and Pakistan will keep going through various kinds of dialogue without necessarily a resolution.
And Sumit Ganguly, from the Indian side, where are the domestic tensions that thereby play out and affect relations with Pakistan?
The principal issue from India is really twofold. First, there is a constituency that believes that one doesn't really need to negotiate with Pakistan, that when Pakistan decides that it wants to come to the bargaining table and start talking in sensible ways, then we can afford to negotiate with Pakistan. And of course, related to this, of course, the same constituency would focus upon Pakistan's involvement with terror, support for a whole host of terrorist organizations which are operating from its soil and have struck at India on a number of occasions, most notably in November 2008. So that remains an important stumbling block. The other, of course, is India's own fraught relationship with the territory that it controls, the 2/3 of Kashmir that it controls, where a significant segment of the population remains alienated from Indian rule. And this remains also a stumbling block in any negotiations with Pakistan. But the principal impediment, frankly, most Indians would argue, particularly those of a more hawkish disposition, that Pakistan's involvement with terror, unless it eschews that relationship, it remains a major barrier towards a normal relationship with Pakistan.
We did note, Husain Haqqani, starting with you, we noted that both of these leaders are relatively new, although they've been on the scene for some time. Does that newness suggest the possibility that all these kind of domestic tensions and barriers we talked about can be overcome?
Well, Mr. Modi certainly has an advantage. He has a huge mandate. He just won it. And India has consistently been a democracy. Mr. Sharif's position is a little more delicate. He has been elected. He has been elected for a year. But the fact remains that Pakistan has a long tradition of the military asserting itself against civilian rulers trying to make peace with India. And even now, much of the hawkish discourse in Pakistan is being fed by the military and the Pakistani intelligence service, ISI, which everybody around the world knows or believes to be involved with terrorist groups, including those attacking inside India. So Mr. Sharif will have greater difficulty in overcoming domestic resistance.
And this even goes to what you were referring to earlier about whether he should even have gone to this meeting.
Well, I personally feel he should have gone, but yes, I know that there are a lot of people in Pakistan who are using this argument against him. The fact remains that in Pakistan, the hawkish elements in Pakistan use anti-Indianism as a means of consolidating Pakistan's national identity. That is something that liberals like myself in Pakistan dispute because it's not necessarily good for Pakistan either.
And just briefly, Sumit Ganguly, finally, you did mention earlier that Prime Minister Modi's past does not suggest a lot of, well, he's said some harsh things, and his party have been harsh about Pakistan, but you still think there's some chance to get past that now?
I think there is a real opportunity to get past that now, and particularly because no one can really question his credentials in terms of being too forthcoming towards Pakistan or too concessionary towards Pakistan in his approach. And consequently, most people will repose sufficient faith in him that any agreement that he reaches with Pakistan will be a considered one and one that will be based upon the sound advice proffered by his national security team.
All right, Sumit Ganguly, Husain Haqqani, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.